Hi.
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 Hi there guys, I am Stefano Esposito, aka Steph.
My name is Leah.
My name is Carrie Ingram.
My name is Mikey Cook.
Grace. Bebe.
My name is Angelina.
And I come from London in the UK.
And I'm from Ireland.
And I am from the United States.
And I live in Long Beach, California in the United States.
From London.
And I'm from London.
Firstly, how are you? I am actually doing really well, thanks. I'm basically doing schoolwork all day, which explains why I'm filming this. And overall, I feel very confident in my work. I feel pretty good.
I'm pretty good. I'm a bit sick, if you can't hear that. I don't sound like this normally. I'm very, dodgy, but it's fine. I'm getting better.
I am personally doing very fine today. Thanks for asking. I'm doing really well.
My nose is really itchy, so I apologize ahead of time. Oh my god. I'm good, kinda. A little stressed, you know, as life treats you, but other than that, I'm good.
Good. It's been fine.
Yeah, I've been okay.
Are you ready for these questions?
Yes.
Yes, I am ready.
I think so.
I am as ready as I will ever be.
I'm ready.
I am ready for a durr.
I'm a little nervous, but we're just gonna jump right into this.
Question 1. Do you have a body positive song? If so, what is it and what does it mean to you? I have so many. I have a full playlist of songs that I listen to before I have an audition or before I go out. I'll narrow it down to 2. My first one is Positive from Legally Blonde, because I did Legally Blonde over the summer with my youth theatre, and it's such a good musical. I love it so much. Positive is one of those songs where it's it sounds really upbeat and happy, and it is. It's all the Delta News hyping up Elle to go get her man, but then you listen to the lyrics and the Delta News are telling her to slap this new girlfriend Vivian to the floor, pull her hair, all this stuff. But I love it so much because of that. It's a great song. I love it. And my second one is Never Shut Up Again from Heathers, UK Heathers. It's so good. Tashawn Williams is a goddess. I love her. And Never Shut Up Again is another one of those songs where until you know the context, it sounds so happy and empowering, but then when you know the context and it's Heather Duke taking over from Heather Chandler, because spoiler alert, she dies. But it's such a good song. When you forget what's happening in the actual musical at the time, it's amazing. It's I'm not taking anything from anyone anymore. This is me. Oh, that's another one from The Greatest Showman. This is me. I love that one too.
I have a couple. One of them is actually That's My Girl by Fifth Harmony. I always say that's my body positive song. Ain't a thing, good girls better get back. Destiny said you gotta get up and get it. Get making a pin and don't you ever forget it. Get some dirt on your shoulder and let me brush it off, oh yeah. If you're feeling me, put your 5 high. That's my girl.
Well, I sent you a Snapchat the other day of the song Wake Up in the Sky, even though I looked really horrible that day. It just makes you feel nice.
Body positive song. I mean, I have 2 that come in mind. One is Beautiful by Christina Aguilera, because, that's an anthem. Everyone is beautiful in their own special way. And then the second one is Bootylicious, because I have a big butt. Not gonna front. It's literally my body positive song.
My humps, Black Eyed. Or maybe when I'm feeling really no one understands. Bon Jovi, It's My Life.
Oh.
It's my life.
I don't really have a body positive song. I mean, I listen to a lot of group music, so I don't really think that fits into the category.
Do I have a body positive song? Well, actually, I have an entire playlist on my phone and it's called Work. And I like to listen to these songs to just kind of keep me in a good mood. Okay, I brought it. I really like any Beyonce songs because Beyonce is just queen. She's amazing. But Check Up On It by Beyonce is one of the best songs. You can't listen to it and just be ooh, boy, you're looking like you like, but just see. You can't not dance and just feel confident in yourself. So I really like that song. I think that's a good one to go to. Okay, Check Up On It by Beyonce.
Number 2, is there a film series that makes you feel body confident? And if so, what is it? Not really. I mean, there's a lot of shows where I feel they have such diversity and not just color, but in size as well too. But I can't really put a pin on one certain one, but I know that recently a lot of film and movies and stuff like that have been trying to show the spectrum of different people and how they look.
I don't really have one, but if I had to choose, it'd probably be Hairspray. Like the movie. Hairspray is such an amazing show. Like it's so progressive. First of all, the lead, Tracy, she's plus size, like she's a curvy girl, and she gets her man and she gets to dance on the Corny Collins show, which is amazing. All the girls are against her really, especially Amber's mom. And by the end of it, like the Corny Collins show is completely integrated. And obviously I'm as white gets, but it's an amazing musical.
Oh, Naked Attraction. Oh, same. Me too. Because, I don't know, it looks so normal when they're standing there naked, because they're not like, or anything. They're just kind of like, especially when the person who's had the clothes on the whole time comes out, and they're all just standing there naked, and it's the presenter lady who looks a bit weird.
Yeah, and I feel like I think I look worse than everyone around me, and then when I see that same, I think I'm like, oh, I do look so well. That sounds really weird. Like, for example, like someone might have a tattoo that's not my taste.
Once again, I mean, like my favourite film genre is horror, which wouldn't really fit into the category of making me feel body positive. But I remember going to the cinema one time to watch this film called I Feel Pretty, so I guess you could probably say that's a film that would make you feel body confident, but I didn't really enjoy it because I'm not one who really likes rom-coms.
I don't think so. I've seen films and things that obviously make me happy or make me feel lucky or give me good vibes, but I don't think I've ever really seen a film that makes me feel confident in my body. If anything, like, I don't want to say that films make me feel insecure, but I feel like a lot of the time people in films, if they're like the leading lady, they're portrayed to have a really like perfect body, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I had that body. So like, I don't know, I can't think of a film that does that, which is problematic.
Not really, no. All the films and the TV series that try to show that body confident message are the same kind of film. It's actually so stereotypical, which is why I'm doing this project. Basically is that they are same gender, same kind of person, and it's usually the same thing. So it's usually like a white woman who is of a bigger size, and usually they go through some transformation. I mean, like, yeah, they're brilliant, but I'd also like it if it was like from a guy's perspective, like someone who's my size, a bigger guy or an African American. Basically there's some sort of variety in there. So I'd probably say like a no. There's nothing, and not even a character that makes me feel like that.
Do you think your body type gets portrayed by the media positively, and explain why?
I feel like, I don't know, I have quite a normal body type. When I see like Instagram models, I'll be a bit jealous. I don't think all clothes are made for Instagram models, although sometimes jeans never fit me and that's annoying.
I feel like, no, I'm like normal, like I wouldn't say I'm overly overweight, but then I wouldn't say I'm skinny. And I feel like even though nothing on social media is real, it feels real.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
No, maybe. I guess I'm kind of petite. People really like that, but for me, I don't. But I guess you could possibly say that my body type gets portrayed positively.
Well, sometimes and sometimes not. I don't see a lot of thick people in the media aspect, if that makes sense. There's a lot of people that I know that are actually a little bit bigger than myself that are in the acting career, and we don't see us a lot. Not just African Americans, but big African Americans in general. Most of the time it's people that are slim and have abs and are really good looking, and it does affect me sometimes when I see stuff like that, because it makes it think that I can't be that type of person that can be portrayed on the big screen, and it kind of sucks.
I was kind of explaining this, so I would say kind of and kind of not. So if you cannot tell, I'm quite like skinny, like slim, I'd say. So if you're just basing this off, I'd say, yeah, women get very praised for having a body like mine in the fashion industry, like all the time. Think about all these like campaign images and all these like, things always get shown with women of a smaller size. In that part, yeah, but in the guys front, no. A lot of brands and a lot of things don't want guys like this. They'll always go back to that stereotypical male guy image. So for example, like that super muscular, broaded shoulder, tall and handsome and muscular with abs and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm skinny. Like I'm tall, but I'm very lanky. Everyone who usually starts off as my figure ends up trying to get bulkier. It never gets portrayed right. And if we do, we end up getting portrayed as the same kind of characters. So like, for example, like in most films, like the character who's skinny is usually awkward, very nervous, who's weaker, who always gets bullied somehow and someone else has to save it. For me, I just feel like my body doesn't really get represented right. It's not represented right, but I'm not that fussed about it. I think there's more things I'm more fussed about getting represented right, like autism and stuff like that.
I think yes and no. I personally am petite. I'm 5'2" and a quarter, and yes, a quarter does count. I feel like for the most part, short girls are respected. I feel like if I was taller, I would have a bigger problem being portrayed positively in the media, because taller girls tend to be portrayed as being awkward and lanky, even though they can also be very model-esque and beautiful. But I feel like with short girls, we're always just looked at as little children or like cute, adorable. So sometimes it's annoying, but for the most part, it's a positive outlook. But even though I'm petite, I am also a fuller figured woman. woman. I definitely am curvier. I don't have like a stick straight body, and it's kind of rough. Like, it's a weird thing because like people obviously want to have curves to some extent, or some people don't, I don't know. But like, I think the media portrays women as being better off if you have curves. They don't talk about like you having curves and being petite and feeling kind of awkward because you're in that middle ground. Like, usually petite is with like childlike features, so you're not really as curvy, and then curvy women tend to look more woman-esque, and I feel like I look like a child. I don't know, it's kind of strange. I don't really know where I fall into that because you don't see that very often and you don't see that being spoken about. Yeah, I just feel like most of the time media just portrays women as having to be thin but still curvy, but in an unrealistic way, like the Kardashians or people who get like Brazilian butt lifts. It's just like, first off, not everyone can afford to do that. Second off, not everyone wants to do that. Like, I wouldn't want to go through that type of surgical thing just because I've seen the videos, and as interesting as they are, they also showcase how much pain people go through, and I'm just not for that. So I don't know, this is just a really long answer, I'm so sorry. I feel like my body type in particular isn't completely portrayed with all of the aspects of my personal body type, but different aspects are portrayed different ways. That's my short answer.
I'm very lucky that I have a very average body type. I'm not too big, not too small, but I am very short. I'm like 5'1", 5'2", but I'm very, very lucky. Like, it's getting better for everyone, but I still think certain companies need to up their game with even showing girls with like a slight bit of pudge. Obviously, I'm not stick thin, got a little bit of belly fat, got a little bit of bat wings, but you know, it's fine. I'm fine with it, but I think the media needs to, especially young girls, like I think under the age of 15, girls need to be shown that that's okay, and they shouldn't be like starving themselves or like constantly going on diets just to be that model figure.
What do you think of fashion brands like Brandy Melville and Victoria's Secret explicitly saying they won't work with a range of different sizes?
Well, I don't like it.
No.
I don't think that's okay.
I think it's bullshit.
I think that's unacceptable.
Okay, here's my short rant on this. I think it's absolutely ridiculous if any brand, person, place, thing, any noun comes out with some type of statement saying that they're not going to work with people of a specific size group. Like, if you're literally coming out and saying that I am choosing to discriminate, I am choosing to marginalize a group of people, and I think that's absolutely redonkulous.
There's a lot of companies and a lot of brands and stores that don't have sizes that are meant for plus size people. And this whole thing about like, oh, if you're plus size, you're unhealthy. That's not true. Some people are just bigger. Just because you're bigger doesn't mean you're unhealthy. And not just the media. And then when you go to the doctor, they say like, oh, you're this, and that. And it's like, but my blood pressure is good, my heart is good, and everything like that. My cholesterol is low, but you're telling me that because of the way that I look and because of the size that I am, that I'm not healthy. And I don't think that's like cool. That's not okay.
Because it's just a bit like, why? Like, it doesn't even benefit them because they're just getting less people to buy their clothes. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like stubborn for no reason.
Yeah, because I watched this thing on this morning and there was this debate about it, and the retailer was like, you need more fabric for larger sizes. And then they were like, but for the petite range, you need small, so surely you charge petite specialism like less money.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense at all.
Like I just said, all body types need to be shown in media so that everyone realizes that they're beautiful. No one should be discriminated against for their size or disabilities or anything like that. That's another thing I think needs to be shown in media. People with disabilities, they shouldn't be any less. No one should be discriminated against for their size. It's just ridiculous.
Let's say you are selfish, you want to be business-minded, business-driven, profit-driven. You're still making a stupid decision because you're closing your markets off to a large portion of the world population, people who have larger sizes or who require them because they are normal people, you know? So like, first off, that's, I think, a stupid business move because you can still brand and market your brand to be something that is elite or something that is exquisite, fancy, and still be inclusive. I don't think those two things necessarily have to be mutually exclusive. Is that the right term? Am I using that? I just don't think those things have to be separate. And I also just think it's ignorant. No one likes to be excluded, and it's common sense that if you exclude people, you're usually a bad egg. You should just try and include everyone. It's just a bad look, okay? It's not it.
Do you know any brands that go against this and that are body positive? If so, say these brands.
Not really.
Yes, I do.
I know a bunch.
ASOS.
Pretty Little thing have the like curve
yeah.
range,
Yeah.
which isn't even like over a certain size. It's just like how the clothes fit different bodies, which I think is quite cool.
Actually.
And their adverts are always really inclusive. You're not the only body that can look good in that dress, but so many different people can.
I actually am wearing one right now. There's a brand called True & Co. and I have actually been in contact with the people who work for their PR. They're really fantastic people. But True & Co. is like underwear, lingerie brand. I believe right now they only make products for women, but they make it so that they cater to real people of all different shapes and sizes. They will not discriminate. You actually have to fill out like a little quiz about your body, but also about like specifics about problems that you've had with bra sizing or the fit of it or your lifestyle and what type of comfort choices you like. Like, they go down to to the detail, but their main purpose is just to give product to real people that they'll enjoy and that they'll feel comfortable and really just love. And I think all brands should do that. Like, I honestly don't see any reasoning for not doing that. Because again, even if you want to have like this glam, fancy, elite branding to you, you can gain that, you can have that and still be inclusive. Like, I don't get it.
So for example, you've got ASOS.
ASOS has clothes that is meant for plus size people. They have 2XL, 3XL, 4XL, and so on and so forth. Stuff that they know is gonna fit plus size and bigger, not just like models or people like that, but just people in general. And like, there's a lot of stores that don't do that, like Forever 21, stuff like that, where it's like you have stuff that's not even fitting you and have these nice clothes that you can't even wear. And it just sucks. It really does.
American Eagle, Pretty Little Thing. Misguided also are pretty good in that kind of aspect. Fenty's X Savage.
What brands do you know that create clothes catered to your body type? Well, I'm a little biased. Most of my closet is from Forever 21.
Topshop,
H&M, New Look, Boohoo,
ASOS,
Zara.
I'm very lucky in that I have a very average body type. Although I can never get jeans to fit my legs, jeans always have to be rolled up.
I don't really think so, because I feel like sometimes one day I'll walk into the shop and the t-shirt will fit me fine, but then I'll try on the jeans and I either won't be able to get them past my butt or I won't be able to get them
to your waist.
Yeah, or like even if I put them on, then I'll be like really tight on my hips but really loose around my
like
waist.
there'll be the gap there at the back, but like you physically can't get it past your bum.
So annoying.
Do you think someone's gender affects their body confidence, and explain why not?
I don't think gender specifically, I don't think that one gender is affected more than the other.
I think it's a yes and no. There's a lot of males out there that don't care about the way that they look or care about the size that they are, but then there are a lot of males that do. Same with women.
I don't really think so. It's kind of worse for girls. Most girls are completely not confident in themselves at all, but at the same time lads are more, or boys, they don't really speak out about it.
If you're a boy, you're probably not going to talk about if you don't like your body.
I feel like it's obvious to say girls feel worse, but then it's just like the fact that it's not spoken about.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes boys feel even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually feel like it does. I think it's based off the idea of self-comparison. Now, this is why, for example, like schools and stuff like that, it's so difficult for a lot of teenage boys and girls, especially girls in this kind of stage, because think about it, like you're going into school and you're with all these girls who have different body types, and because it's so based off like popularity, you look at all the popular girls who are usually like either like stick thin or super curvy, and you're just up there like whatever body you've got, you're like, I hate it. And that's the same with guys. Guys are really horrible about each other's bodies. Like, I definitely know when I was in like the changing rooms all the time, I used to hear these like comments about like one person being fat, like, oh my god, you're so fat, but like as joke humor. You guys are idiots. Like, and another thing is they would take it because it's of boys, and boys make jokes to be rude because they can get away with that, and boy humor is, I just don't get it. Girls will speak up about it more versus a guy.
I think it affects the way they view their body, but not necessarily like how much they have to face in terms of being confident or insecure. Because as a female, there is a lot out there about how we should look. It can really get to you. It makes you insecure, even subconsciously. Even when you feel like you're the most confident in yourself, you might still worry about these things.
Do you think someone's sexuality / love life affects their body confidence, and explain why / why not?
I would say yes, because I think if you're in a relationship, your partner finds you attractive. I don't know, I feel like I'm not that confident. So like I get kind of validation from other people. So if it's like, if my boyfriend's like, wow, you look really good, then I'm like, oh, I look good. Whereas I wouldn't necessarily be like, who's that? You know?
Again, it goes back to the same thing with like what you identify as far as your gender goes. Just trying to figure out like what is expected, and then also trying to overcome that and realize that what is expected by society doesn't necessarily have to align with who you are as a person. I'm a heterosexual female, so for me, I feel like my body confidence, again, like I hate to say this because I'm the type of person that's all you go girl, you do you for you, but there's like always going to be a little inkling in me that kind of worries about like whether or not I am attractive enough to males. And it's not necessarily going to dictate the decisions I make in life, because F that, but you know, anybody would be lying if they said they didn't care about that.
I think it can. I'm not gonna say yes or no. It could, because if you're single for a long time, you can start to think like, oh god, is it me? Like, is there something wrong with me?
I know a lot of times, if we gonna get personal about it, a lot of times, not just myself included, but other people, because of the size size that they are, they think that they're not attractive, and they think that because they're not attractive, the same sex, opposite sex, or whatever they're into won't want to have sex with them or be attracted to them. And it's always like these things that's portrayed in the media, the look, you know, the look of all these models that are out there, and they think, oh, if I don't look like that, I'm never going to have sex or have someone be sexually attracted to me. And it's not true.
I definitely feel like that sometimes, because again, I've never actually been in a relationship ever. I haven't been viewed within that sexual light very much many times, so for me, sometimes I'm like, ugh, especially with who you compare it to. At the time, like, one of my ex-friends had a bigger chest than me. Although he was chubbier, still he had that very much idyllic male body, because it was like top half was way bigger, like from here was like huge, he had bigger arms. It can be very like self-conscious. You don't think about it until like you think about it later. It can be very harming.
I do think it does play a role.
Do you think someone's ethnicity affects freaking-lutely? So I've been saying a lot lately on my channel, I am a Afro-Latina. I am half black, half Latina, and I feel like first off, we don't really exist that much on the internet. I think ethnicity does really affect body confidence, because if you don't have representation of someone that looks like you in the media, you automatically feel like you're not good enough or you're not important. Growing up, I clearly remember when I was little, like every person who was idolized in the media was a white, blonde hair, blue-eyed woman, and I felt ugly. And even going to school, being one of the few mixed people, one of the few Hispanic, going to school and not identifying with other people was hard enough too, because you feel weird, you feel abnormal, and people treat you that way. And I honestly do feel like black women have it a little bit harder. I wouldn't even say a little bit harder. I think we have it a lot of bit harder, because we're looked at as, for a lot of people, we're looked at as not being the classiest. Like if we do a DIY, if a white girl does the DIY the same way, hers is looked at as being like a cool life hack. We're looked at as being ghetto. So it's stuff like that we have to overcome culturally, and I think that also comes with body image and just being attractive. Like I've never heard anyone say you're cute for a white girl, but so many people say you're cute for a black girl, and it's the most insulting thing ever. I'm cute for being a person. I do honestly think that ethnicity definitely does affect body confidence, and you kind of have to push yourself harder when you're in any marginalized group, because you don't have as much representation or support from the media and society to feel confident in yourself.
I'm the whitest of white. Just gonna go ahead and put that out there again. But I think it can't, because until recently, other skin tones weren't really represented in media properly. There was nothing equal about it. It was all kind of white girls. But I think it is getting better now, but it's plain racism if people are discriminated against for their skin color. I do think that can make people self-conscious.
I think definitely, because everyone has an idea of what's like nice.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, because where you're from, it's just not a feature that's like...
In Asian countries, they really want you to have big eyes with like
Yeah.
the eyelid. It's
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
thing.
And like, if you just don't, then what can you do about it?
Me being African American and being on the pleasure size, I feel as if it's not spoken up enough. We do have a lot of people that we can look up to that are in the plus size area and are confident with the way that they look and confident about how they feel. One example is Lizzo. She's a singer, growing very popular, and I'm really into her music, but I'm more into her body confidence and how confident she is about how thick she is and her melanin and her being black and being plus size. And it just, seeing that lifts up not just me, but I know it lifts up a lot of other people in the African American community that are on the thicker side. I need to This video is gonna take forever because my nose keeps itching. Steph, I'm so sorry.
Have you been affected by any of these? Explain why.
I think the social media one, definitely, because even though I know it's not real, I really get affected when I go through, because I'm like, oh my god, I will never look like that. Because I know it's unrealistic, and I know people say like, oh, they only post the highlights of your life, but like, it actually makes me so upset.
Like, my highlights wouldn't look like their highlights.
Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I don't like what I see, and then some days I do, and sometimes I'm just like, you're beautiful inside and out, but then other days I'm just like, oh, you're so fat, you need to lose weight. And I know I shouldn't think like that, because I should be happy about the body that I'm in, but it's something that I need to work on, and it's something that a lot of people need to work on, and hopefully eventually I won't have those type of thoughts anymore.
Me personally, no. My body confidence is because of me, not really any of those.
I think the things that affect me the most is me being a woman, me being black, me being Latina. It's tough. It's tough because, you know, I have to deal with intersectionality and having to deal with being marginalized in different aspects of my identity and not being represented in different aspects of my identity, and almost kind of finding myself, but then also trying to find this person that I can build up on social media using my platform as a role model for people who don't identify with anyone else. I always am am a little self-conscious. I grew up in a place that was mainly white people. Just feeling, you know, adequate enough was something I had to overcome as I was getting older. Now, I know I am.
I'm only 15, but the whole being in a relationship thing, like, I get that I'm very young, but it's an issue when you see like everyone like going off and getting boyfriends and you're sitting there alone. But I've accepted that it's not a bad thing. Like, I am very young, so it doesn't really matter that much. I have felt self-conscious of how pale I am, because I am insanely pale. Getting called Puka isn't very fun. Puka is ghost in Irish.
So I would say the one I've been the most affected by is definitely gender, because of the whole like locker room chat, which is really horrible to even like say that. I haven't really gotten along with boys, and that's something I definitely still stand to this day. I find it very difficult to socialize with boys, so to kind of like hear these comments like, oh my god, he's so fat and all that, makes you kind of like think in your brain like, oh my god, what are they thinking about me? Because they won't say it out loud to you because they don't get along with you. They're probably thinking in their head, so it makes you feel even more self-conscious.
What's something the media doesn't show that you find beautiful?
I really think that scars are beautiful.
I'm the type of person that my friends hate this, but like the things that I find the most beautiful about them are usually things that they hate. But I just feel like birthmarks are something that people need to embrace.
I love stretch marks. Random fact, I have stretch marks on my bum, and I discovered this like the other day, and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, yes! I think they look beautiful, and I don't get why the media doesn't show them.
I have stretch marks, but you don't see people talk about stretch marks. Most of the time, commercials will show you creams and all types of lotions and other stuff to get rid of your stretch marks and birthmarks and stuff like that. But those show who you are.
I find birthmarks to be so special, because like that's something unique to you. I also think freckles are adorable, but they're not shown enough.
I can't really think of anything different. I feel like I am quite influenced. I just realised that like, everything I think is pretty is what's on my Instagram.
You're like, no.
What are some things you don't like about your body, about yourself?
I definitely have low confidence, so there are a lot of things that I really don't like about my body. I don't really like my figure. I think that I've just got to work on that.
These 3D moles I have here and here. I don't really like my earlobes. And that curve from the lower belly.
I have man boobs. I don't really like those, but they're not like huge, but it's still like, it's nerve-wracking. And then a lot of the times, like I don't like my stomach and like I have a pudge. There is times where sometimes I don't feel comfortable with myself. It just sucks, but it's something that I'm gonna have to deal with eventually.
I am definitely most self-conscious about my, I don't want to say my weight, but my body type in a sense, because again, I'm short, but I have curves, and I wouldn't call myself fat, but I've always had a little bit extra something on my lower stomach area, and I cannot get rid of it for the life of me. My thighs have recently gotten a little thicker, not being as toned as I would like. I am also trying to overcome being more self-conscious about my natural curls, and I think I'm also a little self-conscious about not having any makeup on and like showcasing my bare skin.
I don't like that I have like a little bit of a chin. I also have insanely big hands, like I have bags under my eyes, but I've kind of accepted that that's just me.
The dip in my chest, and also my legs.
What about the opposite? What are some things that you find physically beautiful? Oh, I love this question.
This one's a hard one. Like I said, I'm not really one who's got a lot of confidence in myself. I don't really find things about myself physically beautiful, which is kind of sad. I guess if I have to say something, it would probably be maybe my features, like my eyes and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say beautiful, but I like my feet, so I think my family, my family has good feet.
I like my bottom lip. And I like my
Hard to
forehead
say.
size. I quite like the length of my legs.
I quite like being short.
I like my face and my hair, and I like my arms. I don't really like physical aspects because most of the time I want to think about how somebody's minds work. Like I don't care about looks.
As much as I complain about being short, I love my height. I love being short. I also love when I get freckly during the summer. I love my eyebrows. I love my lips. It's because I've learned to love myself through picking out things that I like.
Hands down, the thing that I've always absolutely had confidence and loved about myself were my lips. I've always been confident with my lips. I also do like my eye shape, and I also really do like my eyebrows. I have finally learned to embrace my height and love being short.
Also my legs, because I like the way they jiggle. I also love my arms. That's like something I like really love. I also love my collarbones. My collarbones. Oh my god, like yes. I also really like my eyebrows.
Describe yourself and your body. Sorry that this is so long, it's 20 minutes, oh my god. Myself, I am a huge nerd.
I'm a very like happy person.
Bubbly.
People who know me in person always say that I'm innocent.
Enjoyable being.
Just someone who wants to live her best life.
Happy.
Determined. I can be a control freak sometimes. I'm a workaholic, but I also really like glam, fancy, and girly things. But I'm also really sassy. I'm just all over the place. And my body is little.
I think I'm quite average. I've got the average body type.
Little, but also wide sometimes.
I'm on the thicker side.
Well, I'm short.
Tall.
But she got the curves.
I could be described as definitely petite.
Tall and wide.
In the mid-range of being like tall but short at the same time.
I'm pretty average.
Skinny.
She's that caramel mocha shade.
I have really short legs.
My body is very animated.
Would you say you're body confident? Definitely not.
No.
Kinda, but not kinda. I feel more confident when I wear clothes. A lot of times when I go shopping and I find something I like that looks good on me, my confidence radiates.
I'm getting there.
Yes, and it's taken a while for me to get here.
I really can't decide because sometimes I'm just like, do you know what? I look so amazing.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's just like,
Have there been any experiences that has affected your body confidence, positive and negative? If you're comfortable, share this experience.
Okay, if we're gonna get deep into this, back in middle school, I used to get bullied for how big I was. I lost a lot of weight when I started growing up, but like back in middle school was when I was my biggest. There was a lot of bullies at my middle school that would pick on me for how big I was. They would call me names, call me fat. And since I was one of the like biggest kids at the school, they would use that against me and just pick on me, and they would make me weaker, which would cause them to pick on me more and have them like beat me up and stuff like that. And it affected me a lot to the point where I was like, okay, I need to lose weight. And then once I got into high school, I started losing more weight. I still am a little bit thick, but I'm not as big as I used to be back in middle school. And the main reason for that is because I was bullied. I hate talking about that, but yeah.
Basically, in year 4, a girl told me that I had, first of all, she said I had really big earlobes. And then these, like, bits of hair, because I'm sorry my hairline doesn't finish there, because I just have, like, and, like, the boys in my class used to be sideburn. And they were like, you look like the girl from Planet of the Apes.
No.
But the gorilla one.
And I think it was like around 4th or 5th grade I started to think about it, because all the girls in the 5th grade were freaking dieting and they would like skip lunch and they were the cool girls. So I thought that was cool, so I would try and eat like one applesauce for lunch. Basically, going into middle school, I didn't really have this clear concept of healthy eating, healthy exercise. I just wanted to be thin and popular, and I was anything but. I gained weight in middle school. I was picked on for my weight in middle school. I was not popular in middle school, and I was bullied. And then going into high school, I started to run and start to really understand what healthy stuff was rather than just doing stuff to look better. And I did have a couple of bad influences during high school that were my friends at the time. One of which, she was so thin and she was just naturally thin, and she would always kind of like body shame anyone who wasn't. But another was a guy that I liked, and he kind of made me feel very self-conscious about my body. And at the time, you know, I wasn't confident enough in myself to really even realize how negative these people were. Luckily, they're not in my life anymore, because I was like, yeet, I'm not doing that.
I don't really think there's anything negative that's affected my body confidence. Like I said, I think the reason I've got such low confidence is mainly because of myself, not really others.
I don't really let things get to me that much. If like people comment on me or I hear comments about myself, it doesn't really bother me that much, because like words are words.
Apart from that experience, what do you think others think about your body? Do you care about what they think?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I don't care what other people think about me. Like whether it be my body, whether it be me in general, like I don't care. I'm gonna be me, I'm gonna do me, and that's that.
I don't care about what other people think about me.
I can't say I don't care about what they think, although sometimes, I don't know how to explain it. I care if people thought like, ugh, but I don't think they do.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean?
I've always been the type of person who never really cared what people think about me.
I think to a certain extent, again, it's one of those things that people can say they don't care, but you'd be lying if you said you didn't care 100%. Like, everyone cares a little bit.
Would you say you love yourself? I do love myself.
Yeah, I do love myself.
I love myself.
Yeah, I think so. I think I do.
Definitely not. I've got really low self-esteem, really low confidence in myself, so I definitely think I'm not one to say I love myself, which once again is kind of sad, but fortunately that's how I feel.
I'm going to read something to you guys.
Whatever you're going through, whoever you are, and whatever way your body is, you are all beautiful.
We all are in a range of different sizes, and we are all unique in our own way.
Yet we compare constantly to someone else.
Why do we do this?
We are all beautiful in our own way, with our curves and bumps and edges.
No matter what size it says on the hanger, you are beautiful, and no one has the power to make you feel less than that.
That was really beautiful stuff. That was good.
Oh, that's so cute.
Do you have any final messages to anyone watching this who might feel conscious?
Honestly, like, we've all been there. Like, I'm being straight up, like, we've all been where you are at some point. We've all been feeling like we're not good enough in our body and we don't feel sexy in our body and this and that. You are not alone. You watching this now, if you do feel body conscious, just know you are beautiful. And I know you're probably gonna be like, no, I'm not. Like, you seriously are.
Honestly, truly love yourself because you only have one life to live. It's way easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. Like, it wasn't like I was born like this or I woke up yesterday and was like, oh, I don't love myself now. Like, it's still a journey. And sometimes it's really easy to feel self-conscious in yourself and what you're doing and where you're at in life. But you have to push yourself and remind yourself that you are an individual who's not meant to be perfect, who's meant to go to a lot of different obstacles and have to face them and overcome them yourself. And some of them are not going to be easy. You gotta say, look, me, I'm good enough, I'm beautiful, and I'm great.
I'm not gonna say don't, because it's a thing. At some point in everyone's life, they're gonna feel self-conscious, but it is just kind of a bump in the road. And with the help of family and friends, you will get to a place where you are happy with how you look. Everyone is beautiful. You were born as you are. There's nothing you can do to change that. Regardless of if you have acne, if you like have stretch marks, everyone is beautiful.
Don't listen to what anybody has to say. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not beautiful or that you have to change yourself to look a certain way. You look good no matter how you are. You're totally fine and you shouldn't let anyone judge you otherwise.
Try not to think too much into it because it's all in your head, I would probably say. I think, you know, people don't go around looking at you and your body. So all things that you hate about yourself is mainly because of you.
Do you think you are beautiful now? Oh, I do think I'm beautiful now.
And yes, I do feel beautiful now.
I think I'm beautiful.
Yes, I do.
See ya, bye.